In the increasingly competitive world of higher education and scholarships, the ability to craft a good admissions or scholarship essay has never been more important, nor has it been more difficult to set yourself apart from the crowd. But today we're going to look at 5 super easy to use strategies to help elevate your essay to the top of that admission counselor's pile. Strategy number 1 is to be better than what AI can generate. And this is a new one. This is not something that was a factor when I went to school, but I'm seeing it more and more with my students today, is that pretty much anyone can write an AI level paper because pretty much anyone can use AI. And you can be sure that admission counselors are on the lookout for papers that don't seem entirely human. So how do we make our papers better than what just anyone throwing this prompt into Chat GPT can come up with? The first thing you want to make sure of is that your essay is specific to the school or the scholarship in question. This already gives you an advantage over AI because AI doesn't necessarily know the difference between this school and this school, or this scholarship and this scholarship. And even if you're not using AI, a lot of students can fall into the trap of just reusing the same template over and over and over again. And that's totally fine. I'm not saying that you should write a brand new essay for every school that you're applying to. What I am saying though is, how is this school different than the others? And how can you reflect that in your essay? How is this scholarship competition different than the other ones? Maybe it's a specific program that is at this school. Maybe it's a feeling that you got when you first went there on a visit. Maybe it's some of their alumni and what they've gone on to do. Whatever it might be, finding ways to take that template that you might be using and really hone in on making this school feel special. That you are not applying to 5 schools with this essay, you're applying to 1 school. And you're gonna make sure that whoever reads this essay can tell this is the school you want to go to. The next tip is to make every single word count. You'll often find with admission essays or scholarship competitions that there is not a minimum number of words or pages that you need to write, much like there is in high school, usually like a 2-page paper, a 5-page paper, 10-page paper, whatever. Usually it is a maximum number of words. And this is much closer to real life writing. Very rarely are you going to be told that your email has to be this long, your proposal has to be this long. More likely, you're gonna have to try and get something across in just a few paragraphs, or maybe even just a few sentences, and try and hook people's attention in. In this way, the college admission essay, which is usually capped around 500 words, is a great way for them to see whether or not you're capable of doing this. Do you write with fluff, or do you write with substance? And when you only have 500 words, you have to be more poet than high school student. Every word has to count. There's a great video that I'll link below on the paramedic method, which is a really in-depth way to try and cut unnecessary words out of your writing and replace them with meaningful words. But just in real short, if you can aim for more active verbs as opposed to passive, try to cut words that might not have as much meaning, such as different introductory clauses, and get right to the point. Another strategy that goes right along with making sure that every word counts is to not parrot your application or transcript. A lot of what you could say in an essay is already going to be on your application, such as your grades or what activities you're involved in. It's not that you can't bring those up in your essay, you absolutely should, but you don't just want to parrot them, you don't just want to list them. Because if that information is already out there and accessible for them to find, then it's just wasting space in your essay. So how do you talk about your grades or your activities in your essay? Well, that brings us to our last and most important tip, which is to focus on specifics. Specifics are always more powerful to a reader than generalizations. One of the best writers I know actually used to read the admission essays for Tufts University, which is a pretty hard school to get into. And this guy read thousands of essays when he was doing that job. And he said that the only one he remembers, the only one that stood out after all these years, is one where a girl took the time to describe in a single sentence her hometown. Think about that. What does Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Wichita, Kansas, or Peoria, Illinois, or Bad Axe, Michigan, or Bend, Oregon mean to people that aren't from that location. It's just words, and they might have a general idea where it is, but they don't have a feel for living there, unless of course maybe you're applying to a school that's in your hometown. But regardless of that, the point remains, specifics are what stick out in people's mind. What is the feel of being from this area, of this part of this town? What influence has that had on you? And it doesn't have to be your hometown. It could be those classes that you wanted to talk about. What is something specific that happened in those classes? A challenge that you overcame, or a discovery that you stumbled upon, or a piece of collaboration that was eye-opening and rewarding for you? What is something that's happened in those sports that you captained or that you participated in, or that play that you were involved in? If you can get into the specifics, into the emotion, into the feeling, and not just the facts that are laid out in your application, that is going to make your essay so much more powerful. And it's something that AI can't do. AI doesn't know what the wind feels like. It just knows how people have described the wind. So when it comes to writing your essays, you need to tell the admission counselor or whoever's reading it what it feels like to be you and why you need to be at this school or getting this money to go to a school. I really hope that helps you out. If you want to learn more about different writing strategies, whether it be for this type of essay or any essay in general, check out the videos that you're seeing right here. And thanks for watching. Happy reading and happy writing.